And we're glad to be here on another Talking Tuesday, coming live from Mix on your Saluda Now. And we're sponsored by World Finance, loansbyworld.com. Hey, they do more than just give loans, they give tax advice. They'll fill out your taxes. Go by and see them right there beside Lunch and Treats here in Saluda. We're so glad that George and Gina opened their doors again so we could come out and listen. What a treat. I just had the new appetizer, the 5-piece cheese sticks. It is great. If you haven't had it, come out and try it with your meal. And it's quite a deal, and it's quite tasty. And I know you'll enjoy it, you and your family. And we're just so glad to be here with you on another Talking Tuesday. And we have someone that is familiar to the program. We have with us today Chris Smith. He is the candidate for Senate District 26. Mr. Chris, thank you for joining us on Saluda Now.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. What a joy it is to be back with you. And, during the 2020 campaign, really enjoyed the time that we spent together on your radio show. So thank you for having me.
Yes, we're glad to have you back. And like you told me a while ago, you never quit running, did you?
I never have.
Yeah.
Everything I've been doing since 2020 has been aimed at now. So everything looks like it's going to come together.
That's great. And tell us a little bit about this. Senate 26 has taken a new form. And tell us a little bit about that.
And, part of the redistricting that was done in 2021, I lost Saluda and I lost Aiken County. And I picked up downtown Columbia. And I also go up into Irmo a little bit now. And in Calhoun County, where I would stop at Sandy Run, I now go to the edge of St. Matthews. So, you know, it helped me, I guess, in that I don't have as far to travel anymore. But, you know, I built so many relationships out there in Saluda and in Aiken County, I hated to lose it. And, you know, I mean, I'm all about relationships with people. And, you know, when I meet people and get to know them, and, you know, I hated it when they took out Saluda and Aiken County. But it is what it is.
Yeah, but we know your phone number, and
Well, I won't be a stranger, I promise you.
and if we need something passed at the State House, I think we'll be ringing your number. But you talked about you have been going out, and we see you here at an event. Looks like you're campaigning here. This must have been when you announced for the Senate.
Yeah, we announced back in September on the 12th, and that was a really, really powerful night. I had Mark Hammond, Secretary of State.
Yeah, I see him now.
I had Shane Massey, the Senate Majority Leader.
Yeah.
Billy Garrett was there. Richard Cash was there. And then I had Representative John McCravey, Jake Kilmartin, and Ryan McKay that were also there. Had a lot of council members and people, you know, involved in other areas of the government. But, you know, just the endorsements that I've received so far, I'm humbled by it.
Well, that's wonderful, and good to hear those endorsements. Those endorsements are very important, and I know that that's what you're looking for when you start campaigning.
And it is, but you know the important thing is that these are the true conservatives in the
Yes.
House and in the Senate, and you know having their support means the world to me. And I've already been endorsed by about 65 House members and about 12 state senators.
That's
And
wonderful.
you know, and the reason we can't get good conservative legislation passed in that state house is because we just simply don't have the votes in the Senate.
Yes.
And the true conservatives in that Senate chamber are crying for help.
That's
We
right.
need help, and Chris Smith is that help.
That's right. And we see one big endorsement you got here, Donald Trump. You was at his rally the other night. We have his picture on the screen. I wish we was closer friends. You could have snuck me in that night.
You know, I stand in awe at some of the things I get into, and
Yeah.
you know, sit at the table and look around and go, how in the world did I get here?
Well, here we see a picture of you, and you're being interviewed by Sandy Run News.
Yeah,
They are in your
love
district.
Chris Smith.
Yeah, they are in your
And I
district.
love them. I mean, they are just great people down there, and I get it. You know, those people in Calhoun County, especially the upper part of the county, have one thing, and that is leave us alone. If you want to develop this county, go do it in your area. Don't do it in ours.
There you go.
And I get that.
And we see you here with some Calhoun County deputies as you were down there. I guess that was at Sandy Run too.
It was a chili cook-off last Saturday, and had a great time down there. And you know, I met most of those guys during the 2020 campaign, and so you know, reestablishing those relationships and letting them know that you know my views have not changed. My goal is to have the best equipped, best trained police force in the nation in South Carolina.
We also see you talking to the Calhoun County Republican Party here, and you in blue jeans here. Yeah, you're just a regular blue jeans kind of guy.
Yeah, they are really great people, and just you know, salt of the earth down there. I love those people to death.
We also see you here, and you were, it looks like a concert kickoff there, a campaign rally you was having at, looked like a restaurant, and you're praying over the owner, and that's pretty impressive. share a little bit about your faith, Chris.
Well, I don't know if I can share just a little bit about it because, people all over. Jesus did not give us life. He is our life.
That's right.
And everything that I do is going to revolve around that. And if I talk to you more than a minute, I'm going to find out where you stand. And I'm going to share God's love with you. And at some point, I'm going to give you the opportunity to become a kingdom citizen.
There you go.
And everything that I do, if it doesn't have kingdom value, I don't get involved in it.
That's right.
I'm the regional coordinator for the National Day of Prayer.
Right.
And, going back into the 90s, I was state director for a ministry called Promise Keepers.
Yes.
And, God is, there's a scripture in there, Bert, that says, God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called.
That's good. That's
And if
great.
you look that verse up, you'll find my picture.
How about that?
Because I stand in awe of what He does. But it's all about obedience.
Yeah.
And giving Him the glory.
We also see you standing beside Ramaswamy. Of all
I
people.
was.
Yeah.
There's a radio guy, Benny Johnson.
Yes.
And what a great guy this is. He's out of Orlando, and he's pretty much just on the internet. But
Right.
he does great interviews and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I've heard him.
He was in Columbia about 3 weeks ago
How about that?
with David.
Okay.
And so we went down there, and, he did, what is that? I think it was a brew with Benny is what he calls it.
Okay.
Although they weren't drinking beer. And of course, neither was I. But,
Yeah.
but anyway, when that thing was over, I did get not only a picture with Vivek and Benny, but I got to pray for him.
That's good. That's great.
And actually, if you'll look, you'll see a picture of me praying over Benny, and then
Okay.
you'll see him holding my sign up with a thumbs up.
How about that? We also see you here with the Fox Morning News anchor. What a privilege to see him there.
Yeah, well, Ansley and Fox and Friends, their morning show, was in Columbia a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, at the
Saturday
Lizard
morning.
Stick. In fact, there was a lady from Saluda on the show.
I think I met her.
Yes, yes.
But anyway, I met Ansley when she was about 18 years old.
How about that?
I spent 28 years in the airline industry, and when she was just starting out, she came out to the airport to do a story, and they asked me to escort her and her crew around, and so I did and met her then, and I know her pastor very well, and I met her dad, her mom, and so it was good to see her again. That was a fun morning.
And you talking about equality in the Republican Party, we also see you here, and it is the African American Gala that was happening. Donald Trump came and spoke at the Columbia Metropolitan Center and Convention Center. Yes.
What a great night that was. Somebody called me Friday afternoon and said, Chris, I have a ticket if you would like to go. And I said, well, I'd love it. So I went down there, and Bert, I'm running into all these guys in this thing that I've been involved in ministry with through the years that I've not seen in a while. And I probably had 25 or 30 people that came up to me that night hugging my neck, and it's like a grand reunion.
Yes.
And just about the time you think, man, this can't get any better, Donald Trump walks in.
There we go.
And then the next night the next day was the primary.
Yes.
And so we had a victory thing for him at the fairgrounds, and he came to that. And I left there going, there's only one thing better than getting to see Donald Trump once in a week, and that's seeing him twice.
There you go. And also you saw our former representative from House District 39, Andre Bauer, who is our former lieutenant governor.
Andre was a lieutenant governor,
Yes.
and I met him back in those days. And Bert, why I know these people, I'll never know. I mean, I'm a dumb old country boy from Georgia.
Yeah.
But that was during the Sanford reign.
That's right.
He got back from the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
And Andre had invited me down to the State of the State address. And on my way down there, God told me, I want you to pray for Governor Sanford.
Yes.
And so I'm standing over there at the Lieutenant Governor's wing just before this thing starts, trying to figure out, okay, God, how are you going to do this? Because he's got a crowd around him.
Yes.
And God said, watch this.
How about that?
And it was like a parting of the water.
Yes.
And everybody just moved away from this, from our governor.
Yeah.
And he's standing there by himself.
How about
And I
that?
said, well, here it is. So I walked over there and grabbed hold of him and prayed for him.
How about that?
And
Well, we know we've got people watching in the Lexington and Columbia area, and I know you want to give one more pitch before we let you go.
absolutely. And, I go back to the reason we can't get good conservative legislation passed in that state house is because we simply don't have the votes in the Senate. And senators like Billy Garrett, they need help. And I'm that help. And what the thinking is that if I could get in there, that there would be 6 or 8, maybe 10 senators that would take a hard step to the right. And then we can, stop these train wrecks and dumpster fires that have been occurring in our Senate chamber the last 3 years over the Right to Life Act, not once but twice, the abortion, the heartbeat bill, and then you turn around a year later, and the parental rights bill that would have helped and fixed a lot of the issues within our school systems. And most importantly, letting the school system and the government know that we as parents don't co-parent with the government.
Okay.
We're going to have a voice in our education, and y'all better be listening. Because if you don't, we're going to pull our kids out and put them in private schools, which is what you're seeing now. I mean,
Yes.
I've never seen as mass of an exit out of our public school system as I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's not just happening here, it's happening nationwide. But listen, if we wanted to connect with you or want to reach out to talk to you, or maybe even donate, how do we do that, Chris?
Well, my phone number is 803-422-6337. I'm on Facebook, Chris Smith Percentage 26. And I'm also on the interweb, or whatever the website is, ChrisSmithPercentage26.com.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, and thank you for coming on the show, and we'll have to have you back on as we get closer to the primary.
Well, thank you so very much. And it's looking like I may not have a primary.
Yeah.
The people that have looked from the Republican side have looked at this thing and went, he's too far ahead.
Yeah. And another thing, to remind the people that I talked to the elections office this morning, and you've got plenty of time to register to vote. If you're not registered to vote, you can register 30 days before the contest. And is the primary June the 11th? Is that the date of the
I
primary?
believe that's the date, June
Yes,
11th.
yes. So please be sure to register to vote too if you hadn't registered. And if you are registered, go out and vote on June the 11th. And you'll also be able to vote ahead of time 2 weeks before the general election.
That's correct. You can early vote, and I had a big voice in the writing of that election integrity law.
How about that? That's
And I
wonderful.
was very grateful. I got everything in it that I wanted, that I felt like we could get. The only thing that I really wanted to do, but I knew it wouldn't pass then, is the closing of our primaries.
Yes.
And I think that there's going to be enough ammunition this year to get something done about that.
That's right.
And I think the solution to closing them is just real simple. Whatever party you vote for in the primary, you have to vote for in the general.
There you go.
And then that stops all of this stuff. And but if I get a primary opponent, make sure you vote for me. And if you're out there in the Saluda, Greenwood area, some parts of Lexington County, and Billy Garrett is on your ticket, make sure that you vote for Billy. He is solid as they come.
Well, speaking of somebody famous, Ted Cruz is calling me now. So I got to hang up on you.
I don't blame you. I cut me off too. So, first, it's a joy to be with you. God bless you. And
Bless
you're
you.
in my thoughts and prayers always.
Thank you, Chris Smith. He is the Republican Christian Values Conservative candidate right there at Senate 26, now representing Lexington and Richland County. You out there in the area, go vote for Chris Smith. He's got great conservative values. Chris, thank you for joining us today on Saluda Now.
Thank you. Have a great day.
And you're watching Talking Tuesday live from Mix here on your Saluda Now.